Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Val here again. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to configure Okta application level sign-on policies with Terraform. This is a best practice demo where we enforce multi-factor authentication for everyone and then add a step-up policy for a restricted group of users who need even tighter session controls. We will break down the Terraform code, look at the resources we are creating, and then run Terraform apply to see it all provisioned in Okta. Are you ready? Let's go. Before we begin, you will need the following for this demo. Number 1, Terraform installed. Number 2, an Okta developer account. Number 3, an Okta API token. Number 4, Okta admin role. And number 5, basic Git and CLI knowledge. We will now pivot to our text editor and walk through the setup. Let's start with the main.tf file. At the top, we declared the required provider, which is the official Okta Terraform provider, version 5.x. Then we configure the provider block itself, pulling the org name, base URL, and API token from variables, never hard coding secrets. And next, we define the groups. We reference the built-in everyone group with a data source. And then we create a new group called restricted users. This will represent users who need tighter security policies like admins, finance, or high-risk accounts. Then comes the authentication policy. We create an Okta app sign-on policy resource called OAuth policy, as you see here. This policy is scoped to one application and we'll attach it directly to the OAuth app later. It has catch-all equals true, which means all users who log into the app are subject to this policy. Now, the policy rules. Rule number 1 is for the restricted users group. Priority 1 means it's evaluated first. It requires 2FA all the time, and it uses a shorter re-authentication window and inactivity timeout, meaning these users have to step up authentication more often and idle sessions expire faster, as you see here. Rule number 2 is for everyone. This is the default baseline for all other users, and notice it still enforces 2FA as the minimum. The only difference is the re-auth and idle settings are a little more relaxed than the restricted users. And finally, we create an OAuth application, a web app, and attach the authentication policy to it. That way, the app inherits the MFA enforcement automatically. Next, let's look at the variables.tf file. Here, we define the inputs for the provider, like the org name, API token, and the Okta base URL. Then, we define the group names, the app label, and the app's redirect URIs. And importantly, we also define the timing variables using ISO-8601 duration format, as you see down here. For example, P22H means 2 hours, and PT30M means 30 minutes. These control how often MFA is required again and how long a session can sit idle before expiring. This makes it very clear, customizable, and consistent across environments. Next, let's go over the outputs.tf file. And here, the outputs.tf file just surfaces key IDs from Okta after apply. This includes the restricted users group ID, the policy ID, and the app ID. That way you can reference them later in scripts or even chain them into other Terraform modules. And the last file we will discuss is the terraform.tf-vars file. And what this file does is it holds the actual values. So here you'll set your Okta org name, your API token, and the redirect URIs for the app. This lets you keep the code reusable while only changing the variables per environment. All right, now that we have our policies configured, let's see Terraform in action. I will now open a terminal session and I will run first Terraform init. Okay, next we will run Terraform validate, and that will check our syntax and make sure it is valid. And that's looking good. And next, let's run Terraform plan to see what Terraform is going to create. Okay, so it looks like Terraform will create 5 new resources. The 5 resources that will be created are: number 1, the restricted users group, which we see here at the bottom. Number 2, the app level auth policy, and we should find that somewhere. There it is. Number 3, the restricted users rule. Here it is. And the everyone rule, which is here. And finally, we will also create the OAuth app itself, which you see here with the policy attached. Then, once we are satisfied with what Terraform will create, we will go ahead and run Terraform apply. And we will hit yes to confirm, or type yes to confirm. Awesome. So our Terraform was applied without any errors or issues. So we are good to go. And we can now jump into the Okta admin console. So I will see you there. Okay. Back at our Okta admin console, we will now go to security on the left column here, then click on authentication policies, and then for app sign-in, we will see the following: a new policy for our app. So we can see our app here, test app for sessions auth policy. And then once we click into it, we will see 2 rules, one for restricted users up top here, and one for everyone at the bottom here. And we will also see our OAuth app bound to this policy. If I assign myself to the restricted users group and try to log in, I will be forced to MFA more frequently and will be logged out after a shorter idle period. And if I am just a normal user in the everyone group, I still must MFA, but my sessions will last a little bit longer. This way, we have enforced MFA for everyone with no exceptions, and we've layered in a step-up policy for sensitive accounts. Well, that was a fun one. And to summarize what we worked on today, we configured the full setup for Terraform managing Okta sign-on policies at the application level. The key takeaway is that we are treating MFA as a baseline requirement. Nobody is logging in with just a password. Then we are applying stricter rules to specific high-risk employees with shorter re-auth and idle windows. This project shows how you can codify security policies as code, version control them, and make them reproducible across environments. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Have a great day.